So, I'll start with this last time out, Villanova. It was good to get a game in and get out and compete. And obviously, not the result that you wanted, but more so the way that we played and how we went about, being together. And I thought there was a competitive spirit with the group. And it's good to get film feedback. I think film's been important just in this entire 2020 season to, Zoom film meetings. And so it's good to get feedback and get back in the film room, get back on the practice court, and then as we prepare for tomorrow with Indiana, obviously, and try to get back to better health and full strength.
LaVall, can you update us on especially Bo Hodges, but also Aaron Thompson, and why Bryce Golden wasn't able to play against Villanova, and he's available now?
Yeah, Bo, in terms of what I'm allowed to say, I can't say a ton, but obviously, the plan was for Bo to sit this year and play next year, with all the things that developed in the course of 2020. To have a bonus year would have been great for him to be able to get out there. That's not going to happen, unfortunately, and so we'll go as expected. AT in his situation, did not practice, yesterday or today, but he's getting treatment and rehab and being evaluated. Yeah, and so we'll see in terms of the game. And then Bryce Golden was in a return to play progression. So coming out of quarantine, isolation, you can't go. You're not medically obviously allowed to go 0 to 100. When you've had 17 days of no activity, and so just obviously precautionary measures to progress him back into full participation, as deemed by our medical staff.
Had Bryce been ailing some with his, back or leg or anything like that?
Prior to game one, yeah, he had an injury in practice, and he was still able to get out there and compete. So the time was good for that healing, but obviously not in other ways. It wasn't good.
How tough is it for you guys to prepare as a coaching staff, not knowing who's going to be available for you and really not knowing who's going to be available for your opponents?
Yeah, it's a unique, certainly unique, Kent. I think even for us in general, right? We got a fairly good amount of new faces, and so getting those guys out on the same team together where we're not practicing and figuring out lineups and rotations and things that we need more information on. Obviously, you need games to be able to do that. And you want to be pretty consistent in who's available. Injuries are always a part of it, right? You have to be cognizant of that, and everybody has to be ready. So it's been a next man up mindset, but you are trying to get into a rhythm and a chemistry with the group being on the same team. I think practices have been competitive. Guys have really challenged each other when we've been able to practice, but you are trying to get that chemistry built together. And then personnel-wise for the other team, right, it's the same deal as kind of an injury. The guy's not available or available, as you start the game plan for any opponent.
How many live bodies do you have for tomorrow's game against Indiana?
I believe we'll have 9. Is that correct?
Okay.
Yeah, and Aaron would be 10. So, yeah.
I mean, LaVall, I know Aaron is a really tough guy and could probably play off of no practice. Are you reluctant to play him at all, not having practiced, or if he's feeling okay, if the medical staff, says okay, would you feel comfortable in playing him?
Yeah, I'd leave. Aaron's gonna probably always say he can go, so we're gonna leave that to the medical team. Really, David. I don't know if I'm okay with playing guys after 17 days off, but if medically it's safe, that's I think this year in general is It's always safety first and health first. And so, between Corona and obviously normal athletic injury. So, we'll make that determination, and Aaron won't get to decide. It'll come from the people that, are experts in that area.
What do you think of Indiana?
I think they're really good. Obviously, you can tell that they've got some experience. I think that really stands out. Just guys that have been in their system and in their program. I think Archie's done a really good job defensively. Right now, they're really in tune with one another. They've got mobile bigs. They've got guards that are quick and strong on the perimeter to be able to defend. So they really stand out on that end of the floor right now.
Hey, LaVall, what have you seen from their guards defensively? Particularly, I was working on a piece about Armand Franklin. You saw him in high school. You've seen him progress. What stands out to you about him now? What do you think he's better at?
Yeah, I just think they do a really good job of keeping it, it sounds simple, keeping the ball in front of them. They've got good size across the board with their guards. And they've, like I said, you can tell they've been in college for a few years with their body development. But they do a really good job of keeping the ball in front and not requiring, much help from teammates. And I think their team is in position when they need it. But those guys do a really good job of guarding the basketball.
And I'd also love a coach's take. When you look at Trace Jackson Davis, you see what jumps out to you?
He's improved, but his mobility is, I think is off the charts. Just being able to move and defend on one end of the court, switch and defend and move and defend and hedge and recover. He can really move, and so you see that on defense. And same thing on offense. I think he does a good job getting position, but him, catching in the high post and driving is a tough match. And so, he's got great mobility for his size.
LaVall, without Aaron, I mean, you probably have three guards who can initiate offense, Jair and both freshmen. I don't know what your starting lineup will be able to be, but in some ways you've got more point guard options than you had last season.
Yeah, all three of those guys have done it, and obviously the two guys in high school before have been on and off the ball. Chuck's been probably off the ball more than Miles Tate, and Ja, as when he was at George Washington. He was a point guard. He had 90 assists in one of his seasons there. So he's done it before. We obviously he's got the ability to shoot the basketball. So it wouldn't be foreign to him to be on the ball. And the way we play anyway, everybody touches the ball and has to make decisions. Obviously Aaron's in really good command of knowing how to organize us, right? That's where those guys are going to have to take a step to be able to get everybody organized, which is, if Aaron not play, he'll have to do it from the sideline. And then Bryce and the guys have been out there before and know, where everybody is supposed to be. He'll have to speak up and lead.
Is there anything that you need to do differently as a coach or as a team? Is there any accommodation you need to make for an environment without fans?
I think the benches are really important. You can't, I didn't think we talked about it even with fans, right? But just the energy in the building. If you're a competitor, it's like I tell our guys, hey, you're trying to play at the park and run the park all day, winners stay. And so, I guess Joe Cornette would say, like, who needs fans? If it's us and them, and it's 5-on-5, it's Butler versus whoever, and it doesn't matter really where we play. So I think the bench energy is important. You just want to know that you want to hear your teammates, and you need to root for your teammates and be a great teammate when you're not out there on the court.
Any other injury or health issues coming out of the Villanova game?
No, I'm fine. I'm just a little overweight, Dave. That's all.
So you're probable.
I wish. Those days are Those days are gone. Yeah, it's just more, like I said, reconditioning in terms of the layoff and getting back to, and then how much, you're trying to balance, and think all coaches are, how much you can actually do in a practice when you got another game tomorrow with the window shrinking and rescheduling games and, things that we haven't really dealt with before. Maybe you see 3 conference games in a week in your conference season from time to time, or you go to the MTE, you're playing back to back to back. And so it's not foreign completely, but having so much time off, leading into it, that's something that is new for those of us that have had the stoppages or the pauses.
Being a little bit shorthanded, do you have anxiety about playing 4 games in 8 days? I mean, your administration decided to schedule Southern Illinois on Monday, which maybe you need the games, as you said, for the feedback and the film and all of that.
Yes, I think there's both sides of it. Is how much is too much, but it's hard. The feedback from a game is, and the experience you get is like what we are, in particular, our roster, doesn't have some of the guys that are, don't have a lot of game experience. Maybe if it's a different team, different situation, it might not fit as well. You might not. But I was encouraged by some of the things that, our young guys did in games, and obviously having fitting Jair in with the group and the way he's played in the 2 games that we had. So just building that chemistry and again, getting the feedback on where we can get better. Games help. So guys we'll worry about this one. And here's the truth. You might not get to the next one. And so you have to understand that just in this current situation that we're in also. The games that are on there for right now, but that could change as well.
Hey, LaVall, with the contract for the Crossroads coming up next year, there's been a lot of talk about, is it going to continue? Do the schools want to continue? What are your thoughts?
Well, I've always said it's a great thing for the state of Indiana to have the 4 programs, meet up and, when there's fans available to be even not. I know there are a lot of people excited about this weekend as it relates to the Crossroads. They look forward to it. Our guys look forward to it. We'll see where it goes from here, but it's been a great thing to compete and a great opportunity to get a really good opponent, right here in our own state where you don't have to, go outside to. There's good programs here, and obviously those 4, the 4 of us are. I think it's been a good thing. We'll see. Hopefully it can continue, but we've talked to our guys just about being thankful. This 2020 season a ton. It's like, hey, we can practice today. Everybody's negative. Great. Be thankful for that, and healthy relatives and being healthy yourselves and back in the locker room. And so it's one of those things where I think it's been thankful to have the opportunity and to be a part of it.
Anything else for Coach?
That's it for me.
All right, guys. Thanks. We'll did you guys get to come? I don't even know if you get to. We get to go to the game. I don't know about you.
No, we'll be there. We'll be there. We'll see you.
All right. We'll see you down there.
Take care, man.
Coach, you've caught me halfway on my drive to Wisconsin, so I will not be there.
All right. Stay safe.